we've got the body now, and we can begin to speak. Appreciative of the energy flows that come this way, we endeavor to give back to you that which might be of use, hopefully of some comfort unto the soul. Well, I quite enjoy the whole message service aspect of things, in that it gives us a chance to reach out and touch someone, as they say in your world. And so we do attempt to do that very thing. However, it isn't always possible to reach out to all, at least not within the span of that particular use of energy frequencies. And so it is that, believe it or no, my dear friends, I should like to continue the message service, but rather directly. I'll not be pointing you out with fingers. I quite enjoy to do this, but I note that, well, it would almost be like shooting a bullet in one area and it bounces off the wall and ends up somewhere else. That oft when I do speak to one particular individual, I find that 3 or 4 respond. So be it. Such is the way of communications, and such is the way of intention. I love that word, my friends, I truly do. Intention. To intend. When one speaks about tending the store, what are we speaking about? Taking care, aren't we? To tend to something. Then one speaks about the intending of something. It's taking care of something inwardly, as with one's will, and thus the intention. Is one's inner, what we call it, destination, as to how and where, and perhaps even when, one should like to see certain things accomplished. And so I come to this very salient point, and it is this, my dear friends. From this point forward, I tell you one and all, look to your intentions in every matter. Kindly, don't assume that you know what they are automatically. Try to get it a bit more conscious, if you don't mind, that there might be a more deliberate use of your intention. Look to your intention. I'll give an example of it right here and now. Pick something that is very important in your life, but that is not yet accomplished. Something obviously you want to see accomplished. Go ahead. Choose your goal, my friends. Choose a goal, if you like. Humor me, if you don't mind. Pick something that you want to see accomplished, but that is not quite accomplished yet. Certainly you've got 1 or 2 you can quickly bring to mind. When you've got this thing, then, my dear friends, then look, and look very, very honestly at what might be your own underlying intention. Why do you want to see this thing accomplished? Why? Why indeed? Who's to gain? Shall anyone lose? Intentions, my dear friends, intentions. I tell you this thing, that on the converse side of your reality, of your life, that is to say, in the so-called inside out of what you call reality, or the third dimension, is to be found what we call reality in the greater dimension of the higher life. And what we see are not so much your actions, but your intentions. Oh yes, they're quite obvious to us, I say. You might have had what you call a bad day. You might have insulted someone unwittingly. Perhaps you cut someone off on the freeway. Not a good day, he would say. You come home a nervous wreck. But what we see are your intentions that might have been colliding with the intentions of the mass mind, and thus your so-called bad day. You're not to be judged for it. You're not behind for it. Indeed, you might be that much further ahead, my dear friends. This is what was meant earlier on, when I believe the medium mentioned, rather off the cuff, that when someone might appear to be having a quite lovely life and all things going quite well, on and on, there must be something that they're not noting. Why in the world would such a statement have been made at all? Well, simply because every one of you here is like a link in the golden chain. Every one of you in incarnation, in embodiment, would not be an embodiment if you were not here trying to make this a better place. Oh yes, there'll be no exceptions, none. Why in the world would the great Lord that hath spawned you have thought you forth, if not to make it better? It is not the Lord's nature to make things worse. So every one of you was shot forth like an arrow out of that mighty celestial bow to make all of creation a better place 100%. My dear, dear friends, how well we know the crucible that you live in. How well we know the bitters that some of you taste daily. And how oft we do taste them with you. Simply for comradeship, solidarity, if you will. Oh yes. What are our intentions? To communicate to you subliminally that you are indeed loved, that you are understood, that you are cared for, that you are absolutely not as alone as you so often appear to be. Every one of you here. I don't care if you live in a family of 16. You've got your times of feeling alone and misunderstood, I dare say. And these be the times that at least one of us is so very close, experiencing it with you, trying to get the thought across, not really, not really. You got me, no one else, you got me, and I'm here. My dear, dear friends, beloved brethren in flesh, come to know that the secret of life is victory inevitable. Come to know, please, that when you might feel the most betrayed, you are on the very hem of the infinite's garment. I dare say there is at least one of you here who's been feeling as if nobody is really listening. Oh, you try, you've tried before, you go and have consultations. They might appear to put a band-aid on your pain, but you walk away and there it is again. No one can quite heal you. No one can quite take care of that nagging thing, now can they? My dear friends, God bless you. I say that an angel's kiss could not take it from you. Why? Because you have prescribed it for yourself, that you yourself might heal it, O physician within. Arise then and do so at your leisure, but you shall do it. That is inevitable. Your greatest pain shall be healed, and that is inevitable also. Nothing can change it. That's the nature of life, my dears. All pain shall one day be ended. All unhappiness shall one day be squelched. And all hunger for love shall one day be completely satisfied. But there be my good tidings for you all. Not lies, not pies in the sky, but I say reality, absolute reality, based on the very nature of God. It is not the nature of God to be unfulfilled. But when that fulfillment comes at last, it is neither given as a free gift. No, my dears, no, no. It is the great price that everyone pays, soon or late, after realizing what that price is. It's right before you, really. I could go about and name off the price tags that I see here, but I'll not. Oh, it's true. You got a great pain, there's a price you got to pay, it'll be gone tomorrow. Are you willing to pay it? Most say no. Most say, I don't know. But none are, else this shall be the case tomorrow. And on the morrow, you'll be different, changed by your own liege, but changed because you've chosen to pay the price. There's not one in here that is the exception from what I can see. Look to your pain, my dears, if you care to. Look to that thing that is the greatest thorn in your side. You can change it, but there is a price. Perhaps it isn't wise to pay the price at this point. Why, any one of you have spied something in a store window that you should also love dearly, but it's altogether too dear, isn't it? It just isn't appropriate to lay down the cash, though you know you could. You'd have your gift, but then what? You'd be missing your money. There's a time for all things, my dear, dear friends. Consider these things, please. There are some here, right in this very room, who have been toying with the idea of, I suppose what some might call a form of agnosticism. Agnosticism means, I don't really know, is there really a God? Is there really all of this thing? Oh, yes, of course, I've been all about, I've heard, I've read, I've seen. I've been told about spirits coming out my ears. But something in me begins to question the lot. Is there really anything to it? Fine. Explore your agnosticism, my dears, indeed your atheism if it comes to that, and see where it takes you. You've got to, you see. And those who say, oh no, not I, have already been there, another life perhaps. Nothing is off limits. There's nowhere that you can't go or shouldn't, save by your own inner navigator. He or she who's either been there or doesn't need to go just now. Else go fully, and see it for what it is. You are all of you students of yourselves in a universe full of green lights and an absence of stop signs. You are history in the making. Have you ever seen a cinema movie, perhaps, of another time and thought, perhaps a bit sentimentally or romantically, oh, how lovely it would have been to be alive just then, Well, two things I shall say, that chances are you were. But better yet, it only appears nostalgically attractive to you in that it might appear a bit simpler. How they didn't have the problems of today, the wars and this and that. I say for what they could do, they had all they could handle. And so do you. My dear friends, ye are all of you history right now. It's easy to look back to another time. Oh, look how quaint, the lovely way that they lived, the automobiles that they drove. In those days, we could do this, we could do that. See, it all seems so romantically interesting. But what I'm telling you is that it's happening right now. Your lives are equally as romantic as ever they've ever been, or any other time period has been. Come to understand, my dears, that it's all occurring right now, right this very moment. Some of you have studied mysticism. You look back with a faint longing. Oh, would that I could sit in a, seance or what. Oh, would that I could have this or that experience as they used to do. I say you have what you are prepared to have right in the moment. And lo, we sit here, technically at a seance. The beauty is before you, my dear friends, in the very next breath that you take. Life doesn't get any more lovely, neither in the past, neither in the future, not really. It's all right before you. What appears to get better in the future is your better perspective in the present. And lo, one thing leads to the next. Prepare for your lovely days, yea, but prepare for them now. Expect your good fortune to engulf you, why not? What else serves you? But I say ye create it as you do breathe in this very moment. So breathe, my dears, and breathe deeply. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Take in the lovely gift of life. It is yours now as always. And it's just as beautiful now as it ever was in 1894. My dear friends, how much we do love you and how much ye are loved. Please, guard against thoughts that you are alone, that you are misunderstood, that you are not loved, or worse yet, that you are not appreciated. I tell you, the very Lord of the universe watches your thought. The very goddess of all creation awaits your next heart's panting, that she might do what she can to fulfill it. We are all of us in this lovely, lovely thing together. This lovely game of life. But I say it takes effort to break out of thought patterns and be here now. And in this moment, all of it can change. In the space between the worlds. In the moment betwixt breaths. Yes, my dears, think not of yourselves as overlooked. Perhaps 1 or 2 of you, or 10 or 20, did not receive a message. What does it mean? That is only the appearance of things. You got a message in every one that you heard. Each one applied to you, directly or indirectly. Each one gave you an opportunity to open your mind and see that in reality. And reality is yet to be. Oh, it's all significant, my dear friends. Every word you hear and every word you don't. How lovely is it? How beautiful. Your presence is everywhere that you are. There is nothing that is not precious, immortal, and eternal. And therein lies the great beauty. And therein lies our oneness, unbroken forever. God bless you. I love you.